What's up, guys? Welcome back to Arlie's Adventure. My name is Arlie, and I think it's safe to take off my mask. All right, so I'm gonna talk about current events. It is April, I believe 13th. Doesn't say April 13th, 2020, and one of the major events we have right now, which is affecting the whole world, is the coronavirus. So I'm going to talk about different topics, and I'm going to make different segments. This one is about the virus. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I don't know all the answers. I've been following the coronavirus since January, since it started in Wuhan, China. So this is just my thoughts, what I've been thinking, and what I've seen. Okay, so we all know that the media is not very truthful, and I've seen it with my own eyes. But the media started following this virus pandemic outbreak since it started in Wuhan. I mean, they didn't really know what was going on because they're very private in China. But they knew that there was a virus. I mean, it was reported to the World Health Organization on January 31st that there was a virus spreading in China. And then in January, Wuhan, China, a city of maybe over 11 million people, went into strict lockdown. Strict. And I saw it with my own eyes. I went on the Snapchat map. I went to the Wuhan area. And a lot of people don't use Snapchat right there. I don't know if the government censors it, but I did see some snaps from like foreigners, and the streets were completely empty, like ghost town empty. And I also saw some YouTube videos of people recording themselves going out for groceries. They would wear masks, cover their eyes, like seriously like protecting themselves from this virus. So I started thinking, I've never seen this in my whole life. Okay? And a lot of people haven't seen this in their whole life. So this is something new, and it kind of reminded me of like all the movies that I've seen about, the zombie apocalypse, right? So a city of 11 million people had streets completely empty, okay? The citizens of China really obey their government. When they say we're going into lockdown, they went into lockdown. Their lockdown is nothing compared to our stay-at-home orders here in the United States, or the guidelines, nothing compared to what China was doing. I mean, China was like, and still, I don't know, now they've lifted up their quarantine orders, so the city's going back into opening up their economy. People are still scared. Okay, so let's go back to the virus. Okay, I was in Mount Shasta throughout the month of February, and I was watching it every day. The numbers, they were slightly going up. Here in the United States, we went from 5 cases to 100 cases in February. Okay, cases, not deaths. When I came back from Mount Shasta, there was 100 cases in the United States. The next week, it jumped like 200. Boom, 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 boom. And now we have a lot of cases, like over 500,000 cases. Okay, so it's been 2 months, February, March, we're in April. Okay, so this virus has grown a lot in the past 4 months. Okay, a lot. People don't really know about it. Wow, there's some squirrels going at it. Ooh, there's a lot of squirrels out here. Ooh, like coming really close and stuff. I'm not scared, but I love how nature is just claiming back the land, they were like fighting. It was cool. So this virus has grown a lot, and we're learning more and more about this virus every day. Okay, and the media hasn't really said a lot about it. Like, you have to do research. You really have to look into it to like learn something new, because the media is repetitive. The media has just really been talking about We should have started mitigation earlier. They're like, trying to make the president look like he didn't do his job, and thinking about the past instead of moving forward and looking at what we're doing now. What we're doing now as a country moving forward. Okay, they're still living in the past. Like, we got to look into the future. We got to start, doing things in a different way. Like, so they're still talking about the past. So I'm really careful with what I watch, and I'm very selective. If it doesn't resonate with me, I don't absorb it. So I look at different sources of news. I read different articles, independent, and then I watch videos. So I get my mind thinking. Okay, so what I've noticed is there's doctors, scholars. There's an article, and I'm gonna post it right here. In that article, this doctor said that this virus has a consciousness. Okay. And then last week, on the coronavirus live briefings with the president said that this virus is a genius. He called it a genius. Okay. So if this virus has a consciousness and this virus is a genius, it's a smart virus, right? The question is, they don't know where it came from. We all could point fingers and be like, oh, it's a bioweapon, or somebody made it, or how it was released by eating bats or eating a little animal. I forgot what it's called. It starts with a P. We don't know. People don't know. We can blame fingers. Everybody can blame fingers, or you think but we don't know yet. At this point, the collective doesn't know where it came from. Okay. But what we do know is that this virus is new. They labeled it a coronavirus. We've had coronaviruses in the past. Okay, it's a new type of coronavirus, right? They called it something similar to the flu, which the flu is still serious. It kills a lot of people a year. It's nothing light. But when we're talking about a virus that is new and we don't know how it works, that's scary. Okay, so I think people find comfort in saying, oh, it's just like a flu, so they kind of downplay it. Okay, but I think whatever it is, this virus is smart. Okay, it is smart. It has a consciousness. Where did it come from? Was it like man-made? Did Pachamama make this virus, or is this virus from another world, not from this world? What I do know is that, it's serious. It really is. It attacks people differently. It doesn't discriminate on your age. It attacks the old and the young. It doesn't matter if you're rich. It attacks the poor and the rich. It doesn't matter who you are. This virus does not discriminate. Okay, that's the scary part. Money can't buy your immunity to this virus. It cannot. So this virus is so serious that it has shut down the whole globe, the whole world, practically. The whole United States is under lockdown. I've never lived through this in my lifetime. Okay, so I'm just looking at what's going on, and I'm just like, whoa, we're living in some interesting times right now, like really interesting times. And there's a lot going on. Okay, a lot. So in order for the government to shut down the economy, because America is a business, and like the president says, it was not meant to be closed down because it's a business. Okay, but when it closes down, that's when you know that there's more to this. Okay, there's more to it. Now I don't know, I feel like there might be different agendas happening right now, but this is what's happening. Okay, people don't know what's going on. There's a big division between the people. I think we've all gone through stages. It's even crossed my mind that maybe this is a hoax, but maybe it's not. And it's crossed a lot of people's minds, even the president. We've all gone through the stages of, oh, it's just like a flu, but then we see that it's not just like a flu, okay? So we're going through different stages as a collective, or just like, what the hell is going on, okay? So the question is, we're mitigating here in the United States. And the numbers, yeah, a lot of people are dying, but they projected up to, if we would have done nothing, if we would have done no mitigation, up to 2 million deaths, okay? And with mitigation, they ranged from 100,000 to 200,000 deaths, okay? So right now we're like at a little bit over 20,000 deaths, okay? The numbers this week is supposed to be like the worst week, where like we see the most deaths, okay? The United States is number 1 in cases and deaths in the whole world, okay? But what we do know is that not everybody's getting tested. Here in California, if you wanted to get tested, if you're showing flu-like symptoms and you wanted to get tested, you couldn't get tested. First, you had to come in contact with somebody that was flying out of the country that came from China. And then you had to show the symptoms, which is fever, dry cough, and something else. Okay, so those were the they didn't have the test. We didn't have the test. So a lot of people didn't get tested, and a lot of people probably had the virus, beat it, got better, and never knew they had the virus. I think that happened to a lot of people, because this virus attacks people differently. Some people are asymptomatic. I could have the virus right now. I'm showing no symptoms, but I can go around spreading it to people. I can spread it to people that won't have the same experience that I have or I had, okay? So you can spread it, be asymptomatic, show no symptoms. That's kind of scary, right? So now they're testing people at a high rate. I think the United States is testing a lot of people, and they're putting it out there. I think China kind of just stopped putting the numbers out there. Their lockdown was pretty strict, way stricter than ours. So maybe 81,000 plus cases is accurate. Who knows? But now Wuhan, China is opening up they lifted up their lockdown, and they're going back to normal. But what's normal? Things are not normal. I've been watching it. China does things differently than here. They have a code on their phone, a QR code, and people have to wear masks. People are scared still in China to go back to work and stuff. So how are we as a society going back to normal? Well, this leads me into my next thing, the fear. The fear that has been brought on to us as a society is so intense that I don't think we're gonna go back to normal anytime soon. Which leads me into the Great Divide.